Okay, please look back at your notes at what a common denominator is or a common multiple. So first we're going to look at this story problem. Sarah planted two 1-acre gardens. One had 3 sections of flowers and the other had 4 sections of flowers. She plans to divide both gardens into more sections so that they have the same number of equal sized sections. How many sections will each garden have? So here's your common denominator. You can use a common denominator or a common multiple. 2 or more denominators to write fractions that name the same part of the whole. I'm going to give you both ways to make this work. The second way is the way that is less work once you get used to it. So first you have to divide each one. The first garden was divided into 4 sections of flowers. So if we look at this, we can divide this equally into those 4 sections, or 3 sections. Oh, I don't want white. And this one was divided into 4 sections. But she wanted it so they could divide it into equal parts. And so what I do know is I can multiply the denominator to find this. So if I divide or multiply 3 times 4, that means there's 12. That's a common multiple that they have in common. So we could then know that each one of these are going to be divided into 12. Equal parts. So divide yours into 12 equal parts, which means there has to be 4 parts in between each one of these. Don't worry if your sections aren't. This one will only have 3 sections in between because it already has 4 equal sections to make 12. I have 12 as our common denominator. So how many sections do they both have? They both have 12. So that's how I found a common denominator is 12. So I have 12 equal sections. Another way to do it, to find your common denominator, which is the way I like doing it the best, I think it's a smaller way, a faster way, is make a list of the first 8 multiples of each denominator. So here's your denominator of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And as you know your multiplication, this will get a lot faster. My common ones for 4 are 4, my multiples are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Now if you look at your multiples, you find the one that is the one that match up first in your multiples. And I see that 12 matches up with both my 3 multiples and my 4 multiples. Circle the common multiple, which is 12. So use the common denominator multiples to write an equivalent. So remember, if we put 12 down here, because that is now our new denominator, but what you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. So 3 times what got me to 12 times 4. So I have to do that to my numerator, which makes this a 4. And 4 times 3 got me to 12. And 1 times 3 equals 12. And now I can just add those together because I have a common denominator, and I get 7 twelfths. Okay, let's move on. Alright, so use the least common denominator. Find the least common denominator for 3/4 and 1/6. Use the least common denominator to write an equivalent fraction for this. So if we're going to do that, we have 4s. Remember, multiples are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. For 6, I got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Now if I stop and I look and which number do I have is my least common multiple that they both have in common, and I see I have a 12 here and I have a 12 here. So the least common denominator of 3/4 and 1/6 is 12. Using the least common denominator, write an equivalent fraction. So 4 times what got me to 12? Well, 4 times 3 got me to 12. So 3 times 3 is 9. So my new one is 9 twelfths. And 6 times 2 got me to 12. So 1 times 2 is, so if I take them both times 2, I will have 2 twelfths. So now if I add 9 twelfths plus 2 twelfths, I have 11 twelfths. Because 3/4 was rewritten as 9 twelfths, and 1/6 was rewritten as 2 twelfths. Alright, find the common denominator of 1/6 and 1/9. Rewrite the pair. The common denominator, so decide with your partner how you want to do it. Do you want to just multiply the two bottoms together, denominators together? Or do you want to find the common multiple, which I think is faster because you're not working with such big numbers? Please do that part together, stop, and then come back and check your answers. And the common multiple for 6 and 12 is 18. Nope. 54 when I multiply those two together. So how did I get to 54 here? I took it times 9. So my numerator, these will both be 54. Now I need to get my numerator. And my numerator is, well, 6 times 9 equals 54, and 9 times 1 equals 9, and 9 times 6 equals 54, so 1 times 6 equals 6. Those are my new equivalent fractions, and now I could add those together and simplify. Here, my common denominator was 15. 27, and 45. Okay, please do this page on your own or with your partner, that's fine with me. Unlock the problem. Let's look at this one together. Katie made 2 pies for the bake sale. One was cut into 3 equal slices and the other was into 5 equal slices. She will continue to cut the pie so that one has the same number of equal size slices. What is the least number of equal size slices she can? What information is given? Well, we know that it is in 3 equal pieces and 5 equal pieces. So I have a picture down here to show a diagram of 3, and this one is 5. What problem are you being asked to solve? How can we make these be cut into equal size pieces is what we want to know. When Katie cuts the pies more, she can cut each pie the same number of times and have the slices the same size. Well, she can't, because if she cuts this one as many times as she cuts this one will still have more. So the least common denominator of 3 and 5 is, well, you can multiply those together and you get 15. So I know that each one of these pies have to have 15 pieces. And my pieces aren't very even. Hopefully yours are better than mine. That means in each one of these, 3 times 5 equals 15. Katie can cut each piece of her first pie into 15 and her second one into 15. That means that Katie can cut each piece into, each one will have pieces that are 15 of the whole. You need to finish the next page then for do the bottom, apply, think smarter together. Then I would like you to work on your own on page 373, finding a common denominator and solving the problems. On the spiral review, you can do you don't need to do the spiral review, just cross that part out. That's not part of your homework. And hopefully this will, now that we found the common denominator, will help us add and subtract fractions a lot easier.